This show contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Movies with Ron, movies with Ron.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Movies with Ron.
I was at my chiropractor the other day. You know how I threw my back out? You know, it's been hurting me last week or two.
Yeah, poor guy.
So I was telling him since my back's been hurting, Heather's been helping me out, and taking care of me.
Yeah.
So the other day, she went over to my apartment to clean it up for me while I was at work, and she threw her fucking back out doing it.
Double trouble.
And he was like, "Oh, man, are you going to bring her in?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. She's, she might be..." And he goes, "Oh, has she ever been to a chiropractor before?" I was like, "No, I don't think so." He says, "You know what? Tell her, don't worry about a thing. With her, it'll be way different than it is with you. Like, with her, I will totally keep my shirt on."
Welcome to episode 90 of Movies with Ron, the podcast where my older brother recaps a movie he saw from beginning to end for me and you, because we like his versions better. It's okay if you've seen the movie. It's okay if you haven't seen it. The experience is unique, so let's get it on. I'm Chris, your MC for the time being. Here with me tonight, our sound guy, Rick.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Nurse Candy.
Hey, everybody.
And here he is, folks.
He's the ball cracker, death on foot. You know him, you love him. He's Ron.
Ron. Hey, Ron.
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, bro.
And everyone say hi to Michael Kleitz.
Michael Kleitz. What's up, buddy?
Michael.
Hi, Mike.
Herr Kleitz.
He's in Maryland. He liked our Facebook page.
I like him already.
Everybody turn around and say hello to our nephew, Julian.
Hey, Julian. Hey. He's so awesome.
Jules!
Hey, man.
Joining us in Duck Shit Studios.
My
For
favorite.
one time only.
My favorite guy is sitting on the couch over there.
I thought I was your snack back.
Oh, baby, there's a time for that.
I hand out a lot of pudding at work, and I have to stop myself from saying that every single time.
You want me to
Would
take
be
my shirt off for you?
Ron, good job last week with Black Panther.
Hey, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Chris, good job editing.
Yeah. I was going through it, and there's this part where I bring up when Kendrick Lamar does a bunch of songs for the movie.
Yeah.
Why the hell did I bring up Kendrick Lamar? I mean, it just seems so random. Mm-hmm. Going through it, editing, I remembered. I had a joke planned, and then I just brought up Kendrick Lamar and then forgot the joke. I just never did it. I was going to be like, Kendrick Lamar does a bunch of tracks for this movie. You know him, he's the son of the famous Hedy Lamar. And then I was going to have everyone go, Headley. Yeah, so I forgot to do that. Okay. All right, Annihilation. Here we are.
Annihilation.
Yeah, are you ready?
I'm annihilated.
I'm getting there. Based on a really good book.
Oh, yeah?
A series of books by...
The Southern Reach Trilogy.
Yeah, Jeff Vandermeer. I really wanted to read this book.
Yeah, it's good.
Before seeing the movie or hearing the recap. I tried to get it, but there was no way I could without paying for it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Our brother.
Directed by the wonderful Alex Garland.
Hell yeah, man. I am loving his movies.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a new director, but he's been writing for a while. He did...
Didn't he direct 28 Days Later?
Oh, yeah.
He wrote it.
Oh.
Danny Boyle directed that.
That's right.
His first directing job was Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
No.
It was a good try.
Yeah. It was a pretty good movie.
She looks very pretty for her face.
The robot girl?
Yeah, she's just a face, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I came off creepy.
Yeah. And then I was like, thinking about make a joke about fucking a face. And then I was like,
Nope.
Well, I try to avoid movies with Domhnall Gleeson. It's just so weird watching a guy walk around and act who has no soul.
Oh, shut up.
No, she
Makes
is
me
right.
uncomfortable.
She is right.
I love Domhnall.
No, so do I.
He's like a day walker.
Yeah, I don't love him.
Dude, I think he's great in the Star Wars movies.
I do too, but I don't love him.
All right. Take a look at Alex Garland, the director of this movie. That's what he looks like.
Okay, he's a guy.
All right. This picture, he's just a dude, but he's wearing this turtleneck. See the turtleneck?
Okay.
All right. It's a zip-up turtleneck.
Is he hiding some
You
pecs?
can see that zipper hanging at the top of the neck. He's got it all the way zipped up. And he's like, I look good like this. And it's like, who the fuck wears a zip-up turtleneck like that? I mean, you know, the zipper bracket is going to be like scratching the underside of your chin. And it's going to be all fucking weird. And, I don't know. This is the movie we're getting. A guy who does that.
I loved this movie. This movie was a breath of fresh air for me.
Yeah, that's how I wear my turtlenecks. I mean, come on. Annihilation is the second collaboration between Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. No. That's a trivia for Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. But from the look of the trailer, it seems to be the same movie if you took out all the men and all the fun.
Oh.
Man, what an asshole.
Hey, I'm calling it like I see it. I mean,
How do you write such wonderful parts for women? Well, the first thing I do is I think of a man, and then I take away reason and accountability.
I wrote down no men plus no fun equals annihilation. Is Annihilation fun?
No,
But you had a good time.
it's great.
Was this like Ghostbusters should have been?
It's not fun, so no.
No, not the fun, but the...
She's stealing the fame of
Women-
my tweet.
What? I don't know what that means.
There's this picture I tweeted of all the girls in the backpacks
Yeah,
and going towards the shimmer. It's called the shimmer, I guess.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, that's
And
what made
it's-
me think of
It's
it.
totally Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where that came from. Sorry. I don't have my own ideas anymore.
But yeah, that's kind of the gist of Annihilation.
Wait a minute. This is a team of just 4 women?
5 women.
5
yeah,
women?
Yeah, scientists.
It's definitely a slow burn, okay? But I love slow burns sometimes. And I'll tell you what, why I love this so much, it is a thinking man's movie.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I read it's inspired by the 1979 Russian film Stalker.
Oh.
Yeah. You guys are cheering, but I fucked that movie in the ass in one of our previous episodes.
Yeah, you did.
That movie sucks. It is the boringest movie you will ever see.
Yeah, Annihilation is Stalker with a payoff.
There you go.
There you go,
Yeah,
yeah.
baby.
All right. Also reading it's quite Lovecraftian.
Indeed.
All right.
And you know that's right up my asshole.
All right, all joking aside, I don't hate women.
Oh, that's good.
I see Annihilation as a kind of bridging of the gap. Because I know there's movies that are intended for a female audience.
Right.
You know, most of them romantic comedies. There are those that I really enjoy. You know, the kind of movies where I wouldn't bring up in a round table of film lovers. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Guilty pleasures?
Yeah.
I don't know. You fuckers might call them guilty pleasures, but I just simply call them pleasures.
Rick walks into a bar wearing a t-shirt that says, "Attention, ladies, I enjoyed The Notebook."
But Annihilation, I know, is a primarily female cast, and they have to be female. It's, I think it's part of the plot.
Yep.
And
Well, sort of.
I think because of this film, I don't have to be ashamed to like these movies.
This is true.
My best friend's wedding.
Oh.
Come on. Julia Roberts,
Sure.
Dermot Mulroney.
The best Mulroney.
She's in love with him. She's got to go, to his wedding. He's marrying Cameron Diaz. Fucking delight of a movie. I mean, oh my God.
Fucking delight.
And as a man, the only male role model in that movie, it's not Dermot Mulroney. It's
Rupert Everett.
You know him.
Now
you love him.
Now he's a delight.
Oh yeah. And when he shows up to save the day, he is the human Deus Ex Machina of my best friend's wedding.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man, if you haven't seen it, see it. It's a fucking great movie. Rick, what do you got?
The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh.
Oh, all right.
Fuck yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, girl power there.
Gina Davis. Is that her name?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh my God. I love some Gina Davis. But no, she totally kicks ass. I don't know, man. It's kind of like...
How many times have you jerked off to her?
Not a once. Because of the respect.
Ah, yes. I have heard of this.
So ladies out there, it does exist. But you know what? You need to watch this movie because, god damn it. She kicks ass. She is a fucking... she is the female John McClane. This was a fucking great movie. And I remember like rewatching this movie on VHS when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Kick-ass chick.
I agree. I love that movie. But the transformation, I just got to say, like she was hideous. With that hair. It was bad. But I love the movie. And I love what they were trying to do. They just
It was the
didn't
90s.
do it.
Is not a handsome woman.
I don't care.
But she looked great as a housewife.
Either way.
I'm with you. I could honestly watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding. This is embarrassing. Cool. Even as a woman, I could watch it every single time it comes on. Possibly every day. That movie is a delight.
Yeah.
Yep. John Corbett. It's the perfect love interest.
Oh, man. Okay, wait. John Corbett is the guy who's playing the husband, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The fiance?
Yeah.
Fucking John Corbett.
I know.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
He's perfect.
Anytime he shows up, I'm just like, hey, that guy. I love him.
If you're going out of town and you need someone to house sit for you, you want a John Corbett to do it.
Yes.
He's that kind of dude.
Yeah, but My Big Fat Greek Wedding was pretty awesome.
Nia Vardalos.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the savant behind that series.
Yeah, man. And got a sequel. Did you see that?
So one-shot deal for her.
Oh.
She tanked in everything after that. Every single thing. But that one movie was magic. All right, Ron. What's your pleasure? What's your guilty pleasure?
Chocolat.
Oh.
Juliette
damn.
Binoche.
Yeah.
You talking about chocolate?
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Rick's like, oh, Johnny Depp.
I can't. I haven't seen it.
Rick, it's a delight.
See it.
Yeah, it's
Some
great.
chocolate.
It's a fucking delight.
Even
Shama salad?
Dr. Octopus in that movie, even his journey is just a fun watch.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's about gypsies, too. Fucking I work at
Fucking jibbos.
I work at a funeral home, and at one point, like before I worked there, they had a gypsy funeral at the funeral home.
Man.
And guess what happened?
You
the
got
funeral
fight.
was over. The funeral was over. And then everyone went about their day. And then everyone came in the next morning, the employees. Everything was stolen. And I mean, not everything, but like the pens, the keychains, the nail files, the calendars, everything. Anything that could be sold. And it's because we had the gypsy funeral. And then a couple of them hid in the funeral home and stayed there the entire day.
Oh my
Until we closed up. And then it got robbed.
Wow.
Yeah. Gypsies, man. Chocolat. Yeah. Rick, you like Gina Davis. How about A League of Their Own?
A League of Their Own?
Oh my God.
Fuck. I love that film.
Yeah, America's first female baseball league.
And you know what? I love baseball too.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Ah, there's so much to love about that movie.
Oh, man.
Gina Davis, baseball, fuck,
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Coca-Cola. Getting off the liquor.
Fuck. That is a great film.
Yeah. A well-done period piece.
Indeed.
My next one, 13 going on 30. It's hard for me to admit that another grown woman is adorable, but Jennifer Garner is adorable in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, I love her in that movie.
She is pretty great.
Yeah. And anything with Mark Ruffalo, can't go wrong.
I'm confused, though. Is this because of the storyline that she's 13 but in a 30-year-old body?
Yeah, she makes it work. She's such a good actress
Okay.
that she is literally adorable.
So she's just cute. She's adorable. She's cute. Shiny as a button.
Jennifer Garner is the woman you want to have your children.
Yes, that's true.
Suppose
Ben Affleck, you fucked up.
Yeah, he was fucking around and she was like, I know what's going on. All right, Ron.
A lot of you might not have heard of this one. Music from Another Room.
Ah.
Anybody remember that?
Nope.
A young Jude Law and Jennifer Tilly.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was good. Where she's blind.
Yes, I saw that on TV one time.
Yeah, man.
Damn right, man.
And Jude Law gets asked to describe love.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, it's when you are listening to your favorite song and you know it by heart and you walk out of the room and you're still singing it. And when you come back in, you haven't missed a beat.
Nice.
Fucking Jude Law. Or fucking writer who wrote that line. What a guy.
Is it just me, or are we going through all of these female-centric films and we're just like concentrating on the men?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Fuck that.
I'll tell you what, though. Have I talked about Beautician and the Beast before?
Oh, man. Now that's a good one.
Holy shit. Fran Drescher, dude.
No, man. Timothy Dalton.
Ah, fuck him.
How many times have you jerked off to Fran Drescher?
that many times. He's like, okay, I listened to the Jordan Peterson podcast. He's like a clinical psychologist.
Jordan Peterson? This is Jordan Peterson?
Anyways, he was talking about pornography and how women prefer literary pornography more. And like the situations they most enjoy are the Beauty and the Beast situations. Mm-hmm. And that's what explains like Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey. Mm-hmm. Like the woman fixing the broken man. You know?
George Peterson?
Beautician and the Beast is like the perfect culmination of that kind of story. It's like he's like tyrannical, Timothy Dalton. And she's got that perfect scene where he's like a fucking asshole and he's starting yelling and he's getting in her face and it's like he's a dictator, and then she's like,
is one of your sideburns longer than the other?
a perfect movie, man. Rick, you got any more?
Oh, hell yeah. Probably didn't get shown in American theaters, but you know what? Something to treasure. Mm-hmm. A German actress by the name of Franca Potente starred in a movie called Run, Lola, Run.
All right.
That's not a chick flick.
You know what?
That's for guys.
Fuck you, dude.
It is
That's why
for
you
guys.
love it so much.
That's why you like it.
Yeah.
I like badass chicks.
She is in like every scene.
You know
though.
what?
It's one of those movies.
Anytime a chick is stepping up to the plate and kicking some fucking ass, I'm down. I'm like, yes. Go.
You just want her to be kicking your ass.
You know what? If that's what it takes.
Letters to Juliet.
Oh, I never saw that.
No, never even heard of it.
Bug Eyes Siegfried.
What?
Can't stand
Amanda
her.
Bug Eyes Siegfried.
Oh, okay. I love her, man. She's great.
I love her, man.
I love that Gollum-looking chick.
How about Easy A? You guys seen that?
Man,
That's what's her name from the new Spider-Man movies?
Yeah.
The middle Spider-Man. Okay.
Mamma Mia.
There you
Oh,
go.
God.
All right.
Mamma mia.
I just know the soundtrack.
I've got one last one. I don't know if this is a chick movie or not, but The Time Traveler's Wife.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. I love that movie.
Holy shit.
Oh, powerful.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I got Julie and Julia cooking. There you go. All right. Remember Romy and Michelle's high school reunion?
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Ever After.
That's good.
With Drew Barrymore and Doug Ray Scott.
Oh.
Good old Doug Ray.
Dude, that's a movie you can watch anytime.
How about The Craft?
Nope. I've never seen it.
You've never seen The Craft?
No.
Oh.
They get so much dick in that movie.
They get some.
They conjure so much cock. Hufty, 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 Bufty, give me some cook.
That was weird.
Yeah, I know.
he's trying.
Swing and a miss.
At least I'm swinging, goddammit. I'm playing ball.
He's in a league of his own.
All right, ladies and gents, check your mags and saddle up, because we're going past the shimmer. This is Annihilation on Movies with Ron.
It's showtime. Get the people out! Come on! Get the people out!
We begin with a shot of Natalie Portman. She's wearing white scrubs. She is in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Annihilation. She's sitting in a chair and she looks around. She's in this glass-walled room, and outside the windows is like a whole bunch of people in blue scrubs, like looking at her. Mm-hmm. Inside the room with her are 3 people, and they are in white hazmat suits. The one in the center, the one who's going to be talking to her, Benedict Wong.
All right.
And he has to talk to her from inside this hazmat suit. And the first thing he does is... He's like, sorry.
He's in the suit. Only he can smell it. It's a perfect equation.
Yeah. Like everybody else could hear it. He's got little windshield wipers on his face shield. He looks at her and he's like, what did you eat? That is what he actually asked her.
Really?
Yeah. Like he was asking himself that. He's like, you had rations for 6 weeks. You were out there for fucking 4 months. She's like, I don't even remember eating. What about Anya, Cassie, and Josie? They didn't make it. What about Ventress? I don't know. Then what do you know? And then it just cuts to the biggest cock you've ever seen. It's a giant asteroid flying through space. And we see it floating through space, but like we hear this slow acoustic guitar. This happens a lot in this movie. Very subdued soundtrack. And we watch this asteroid just come down and it's flying through the atmosphere. It's all flaming and shit. And then it just hits right into this lighthouse that's just on some random beach somewhere. And then we get a bunch of shots of like cells dividing and shit like that and like mutations happening, but it's all very close up so you can't see what it is. And then it just says Annihilation. Now we see Natalie Portman teaching college. Okay, she's a biology professor. And she's got cells up on the fucking board where people are looking at it and stuff. She's talking about like the basic fundamentals of all biology, you know, the dividing cell. She calls it the dividing pair. And she's like, the cells you're seeing is actually cancer that we took from somebody's cervix. And you, as the future doctors, you know, we're going to be studying cancer a lot. So it cuts to her leaving, going home. And this guy, he's like, hey, Natalie Portman, holy shit. Hang on a second. And she's like, oh, hey, Dan. And he's like, what's up? Hey, do you got plans on Saturday? Yes. Me and the wife, we're having a barbecue. Yeah, sorry, I have plans. I'm going to be painting our bedroom. The bedroom. And he's like, it's been a year, Natalie Portman. He's gone. You're allowed to go to a barbecue. She's like, well, yeah, I'm painting the bedroom, so, no. And then she leaves. Cuts to her in her house. And we see all of these family photos of just her and her husband, who I guess is missing or dead. And she's sitting on the couch and she is just fucking crying, man. And it is sad to watch Natalie Portman cry.
Oh.
Okay? And she's just remembering her husband. And now we get some really good shots of who it is. And it's Poe Dameron.
All right.
I like him.
Oscar Isaac. They're both Star Wars alumni.
Yeah.
So she's just in her bedroom and she decides to paint that shit. So she lays down some plastic and she turns on some music and it's on really fucking loud. And she's just painting and fucking crying.
Oh.
Painting these walls.
Jeez.
The music's going and it's like, yeah, man, really feeling for this chick. Downstairs, we see the same photos on the wall and we can hear the music upstairs. It's muffled. Mm-hmm. And now walking into frame is a man.
Oh.
We see him from behind. He's got dark hair. And he starts walking up the stairs, like real slow like. We're back in the room with her painting, and the music's all fucking loud. Dun, 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 dun. She's crying. And we see the stairs in the doorway behind her, and the man passes by it. And she's like, wait, what the fuck? She turns around. In walks Poe Dameron.
Whoa.
And she's like, oh, holy shit. And she cries out and fucking runs to him. She's like, oh my God, you're okay. She's fucking crying. And they have this beautiful fucking reunion, right?
Oh, wow.
So she's like, oh my God, are you fucking okay? And he's like, yeah, I guess. Like he's all like kind of blah, like no emotions. And it just cuts to him sitting at the kitchen table downstairs with one glass of water. She's sitting there talking to him. She's like, man, what the fuck happened? No one knew shit about your unit. Like, I could not find you at all. You've been gone for 12 months. What was your mission? Was it covert? Maybe. She's like, what the fuck? How do you not know? I don't know. How long have you been back? I don't know.
Wow.
She's like, what the fuck, man? Why can't you? I deserve some sort of explanation. Why can't you fucking give it to me? He's like, does it matter? And she's just like, okay, you know what? All right, I guess not. So she just sits there, and then she reaches out and holds his hand. How did you get home? I was outside. Outside the house? No, I was outside a room with a bed in it, and the door was open, and I saw you, and I recognized you, your face. And she's like, what the fuck? He takes a drink of his water, and then he looks at her and he's like, I don't feel very well. And then he sets the water down. She looks at the glass, and there's blood in it.
Oh, no.
Cutting to the wambulance. They're speeding down the highway. She's in the back. He's on the gurney, and he is fucking hemorrhaging out of his mouth like to beat the band.
Wow.
They're like, oh shit, yeah, let's get him to the hospital, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And then all of these fucking black SUVs pull up alongside of it, and they're running like blue police lights and shit, and they fucking take that ambulance by force it to the side of the road, slam the fucking doors open, and there is this black-clad fucking task force pointing guns, and they got those, shiny black penis helmets. And they're like, get him out. And she's like, no, he's got to go to the hospital. He's going to fucking die. Oh my God. He's like, bloop, bloop. There's like blood coming out of his mouth. They're holding her down, and she's like, you get off of him. Oh my God, no. And then someone puts a needle into her neck, and she calms down.
Nice.
Real quick. So she passes out, and then the screen just goes black, and it says, Area X.
Ooh. I can tell you what was in that shot.
Oh, yeah?
Ativan, baby.
Nurse.
Nurse's best friend.
And then she wakes up in an orange jumpsuit. And orange is the new black. First thing she does is finds the nearest toilet in her little confinement hospital room and pukes her guts out.
Oh.
And then over across the room is bitchy old Jennifer Jason Leigh. In a part that was just made for her. She's just watching like she doesn't care. And that is Jennifer Jason Leigh, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
She walks up to her and she's like, you must feel dreadful. You have a hangover from the sedative they gave you. Ladies and gentlemen, acting. Who the fuck are you? My name is Dr. Ventress. I am a psychiatrist. What the fuck? I don't need a psychiatrist. Wait, where am I? Am I in a mental hospital? No. Where is my husband? Yeah, we need to talk about that. So wait, you're researching like genetic cell shit? Like mitosis? Well, yeah, I'm a biologist. And I want to talk to my lawyer. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do that. No lawyers. It's like, oh, shit. Anyway, your husband, when he came back from his mission, what did he say to you? He didn't say anything. I literally couldn't get anything out of him. He kept saying, I don't remember. And he was gone for 12 months, and you were, like, making requests for information about his unit for 6 months. What happened? You just decided to move on? Like, you assumed he was dead? I don't know. Well, your husband's here. What's going on with him? He's got massive organ failure. He's in a coma. He's pretty much just a sack of blood waiting to pop. Ugh. He has to have been exposed to something, some sort of chemical or a virus. Tell me what he was doing. I could actually help him. I'm a fucking scientist, you bitch. And then it just cuts to them on the outside of the lab. And there's like, picnic tables, at this super secret government installation for when they need a break. They look off into the distance, and there is a fucking curtain of like shimmering, shining like air. And it's weird. It's all pearlescent, okay? Uh-huh. Like an oil slick in the air. Yeah, when the shimmer first appeared 3 years ago, it started at a lighthouse in Blackwater National Park, and there was a ranger who went in, and like no one ever heard from him again. And the shimmer, it grows like all the time. In like 3 months, this building, it'll overtake it. And no one we send in comes out. We send in drones, we send in humans and shit. Nothing works inside of it. You can't have radio contact, and nobody comes back.
Wow.
Eventually, it'll take over cities and states, and we are fucked. She's like, yeah, okay, Jesus Christ, the fuck is all this shit? You know what, where's my husband? Oh yeah, okay. And then it just cuts to Poe in a hospital bed. And he looks not so good.
Is this your man?
And then we get a flashback of those two in bed. Cavorting. Ooh. Yes, 2 fine specimens.
You put this disease in me.
And he's all zoned out. Okay, and she's like, "What are you thinking about? Your next mission?" "No, I was just thinking about looking there at the moon. It's like daytime. We can see the moon." And she's like, "Yeah, it's weird. It's like God's mistake." And he's like, "God doesn't make mistakes, babe. That's kind of the whole thing about being God." She's like, yeah, actually, he totally makes mistakes. What do you mean? Well, cellular mitosis and science talk.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. She's like, no, for real. Aging, cells divide, and they're supposed to divide and divide until forever. Aging, we all think is like part of normal life, but it's actually a fault in our genes. And you watching it are like, ooh. She's like, so where are you going on this mission? Can you, give me some sort of clue? We're going to be in the same hemisphere. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? Well, it just means, when you're outside in the garden and you're looking up at the stars, then you can know that I'm seeing the same stars. And she's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Man, you think that's what I do when you're gone? You think I just go outside and pine and look at the stars? And he's like, oh, screw you. And she's like, okay. And then they get to it. Ooh. Now we're back in the lab. It's nighttime, and Natalie Portman is out there at the picnic table area again. Needed a little break.
All right.
From what's going on. there's some other people drinking at the picnic tables. Like, people live here and shit, you know, as they work. And this one girl's like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go talk to her. I'm going to go make friends. Okay. All right. She's like, hey. I guess you're kind of weirded out and awkward, you know, you're being new here. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Well, my name's Anya. Come over and meet my friends. So we meet them friends. So we got Anya, who is a paramedic, Cassie, an anthropologist, and Josie, who is a physicist. And it's like, oh my God, I'm a scientist. You're a scientist? Did we just become best friends? We also find out that Anya is just a little bit gay for Natalie Portman.
Oh.
And everybody's like, oh yeah, sorry. She's not gay. And Anya's like, well, you can't blame me for trying. I mean, under the circumstances. Wait, what? What circumstances? We're going into the shimmer? Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. We're going in with Dr. Ventress. She's like, whoa, really? Like, I thought nobody who ever went in came out. And she's like in charge here. She like profiles all the people and picks the teams and shit. Mm-hmm. So Natalie's like, really? Like, they're sending in a team of all women. Like, yeah, all the previous expeditions, they were all pretty much military based. So they were like all men. So we figured we'd give it all, an all woman try. And they're like, hey, some sergeant, he did make it back. Oh, yeah, but did you hear what state he's in? I mean, like, he's, like, pretty much fucked. And Natalie decides to not mention that she knows Poe.
Oh.
Speaking of Poe, we cut to his hospital bed, and he's like... Natalie sneaks in, and she just sits down with him. And it's fucking sad, man. Like, she just got him back, and here he is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fucking sack of shit. She looks at him, she's like, I know why you went in. And I am so sorry, but I know what I have to do. So then it cuts to her talking with Dr. Ventress. Ventress says, yeah, why'd you decide not to tell him, how you're Poe's wife? I just thought it would complicate things. Yeah, like what? Yeah, fuck that. Why are you going into the shimmer with them? You know what? I've been watching all of this for so long. I profile the volunteers, I pick everybody, and I just watch the shimmer grow. And you can only do that for so long before... And then Natalie just says, you need to know what's inside. You need to know what's in that lighthouse.
Oh.
She's like, yeah, I do. And then Natalie says, me too. Oh, you want on the team? And we find out that Natalie is actually a former Army service member.
Oh.
Just like Poe was. And she's like, yeah, you're a former soldier, so you can fight, and you're a scientist, so you can learn. And then you can save him. Yeah, pretty much, you got me. Mm-hmm. So then it cuts back to Benedict Wong in his suit. And he's like, so you, the only survivor from the shimmer, are the wife of the only other survivor from the shimmer. She's like, yeah, pretty much. I owed him bad, so, yeah, I went in. And then it cuts to the 5 of them standing in a field, and they got their proton packs on.
Nice.
Woo-hoo.
And they're looking at the shimmer. This big, pearly, fucking blob of shit.
Yeah.
There's only 2 shrimp in this wonton shrimp soup. How could you only put 2 shrimp in there? Look at the size of this container.
Female Ghostbusters, ladies and gentlemen.
It was wontons, but yeah. And then Dr. Ventress just turns around and looks at them all like, all right, I don't care about anything. And then she kind of smiles. And they just turn and walk into that shimmer. And it's cool, man. It looks like them just walking into a wall of smoke.
Wow.
And then the screen goes black and it just says, The Shimmer. And then we cut to another flashback. And this time we see Natalie Portman from behind riding, baby.
Damn.
Riding what?
Riding her friend Daniel from the beginning of the movie, who invited her to the barbecue.
Oh.
What?
Yeah. And he's like, what's up?
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Yep, and remember, he was a married man.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then she fucking wakes up in her tent. Okay, she's by herself. She got her own tent there in the shimmer. She walks out. She's got her assault rifle in her backpack, and she is in the middle of the jungle. And she's looking around, and in all the trees, just in the foliage is like pearly light. It's all like shimmering. And you like the word shimmer? There's no other way to describe it. She finds Cassie, Josie, and Anya, and they're like going through the food. And Natalie's like, hey, I don't remember setting up camp. And they're like, yeah, none of us do. And we were just looking at the food, and by what's missing, it looks like we've been here for 4 days.
Wow.
Like, we just walked in to the shimmer. Josie's freaking out. She's like, we don't have any comms. And the compasses, they're all like jittering around and everything. The magnetic fields are all fucked up. Nothing works. Because the compasses are bad, we can't even tell where we are. Well, come on, we can look at the sun and shit like that and figure out, which direction we're facing. And then Dr. Ventress is like, yeah, okay, good, now we're oriented, let's go. So they're moving south towards the lighthouse. This is the whole object of every mission that goes into the shimmer.
Okay.
But no one's ever made it out. And their plan is to go to the lighthouse, figure out what the hell's going on, like why the shimmer is there, and then just follow the coast out of the shimmer. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And when they're traveling, you can always see this huge bright light off in the distance. That's obviously the lighthouse. And then they end up finding this swampy, flooded area that's got this boathouse. And the house itself is flooded, like under maybe a couple of feet of water. And they're like, holy shit, look at this. And all over all of the railings along the dock is all of these fucking beautiful flowers, dude. Mm-hmm. I mean, this movie's kind of a treat visually.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like someone's getting ready for a wedding. And Natalie's like, yeah, that'd be cool if all of these different flowers weren't growing from the same fucking branch. It's like, what? Yeah, some sort of continuous mutation. Like they're all the same flower, but they all look totally different.
Oh.
Anya's like, hey, I found a boat. This works. We can, paddle our asses out of this shit. Shit Creek. Josie, who is exploring the house, comes out, and Ventress is like, hey, what's it? What's going on in there? It's abandoned. I don't know. And then all of a sudden, she gets sucked back into the house. And fucking Natalie's like, holy shit. She runs in to help her. We see the house is actually kind of tilted a little bit. Like it itself is sinking into the swamp. And there's Josie just getting fucking rocked and rolled and pulled around by something underneath the water. Oh. And she's like, it's got my foot! It's got my foot! And Natalie's like, holy shit, come here, come on! She fucking grabs her, actually pulls her away from whatever this thing is, and drags her outside. And they're like, whoa, man, what the fuck was that thing? And they're looking, and it's all fucking quiet, like it's not there anymore.
Holy crap.
And then boom, the fucking water's moving again. That whatever's in there is fucking, it's pissed off now. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then all of a sudden, climbing out of the front door of the house is this fucking gigantic white and red alligator.
Wow.
And it's fucking huge. Like Jesus. Lake Placid huge.
Oh, man.
And they're watching this motherfucker, and then it's in the water, it's swimming around. And it sees them, and it comes for them. Climbs up out of the water and is now like hissing at him and shit and moving towards them. Anya holds up her fucking assault rifle and just starts firing at it. It doesn't do anything. It's like bouncing off of its skin and shit. Oh. And she has to back up and like run away from it. Fucking Natalie Portman goes into soldier mode. She drops to one knee, holds up her assault rifle, and just fucking empties it into this thing's open mouth as it's coming at her. Ooh. At the last second, it stops and dies.
Oh, shit.
Oh, nice. Man.
So now Anya's like holding the mouth open so that Natalie can examine it, and it's got rows of teeth like a shark.
Oh.
Isn't that fucking scary?
Yeah.
By the way, filling in for Rick is our nephew, Julian.
Hey, guys.
Rick had a little too much Fireball and is having a snooze in the other room. So you got some big shoes to fill, but here we go, buddy.
I'll try.
Party never stops here at Duck Shit Studios. Sometimes you gotta go sleep one off. Somebody's like, is it possible that a shark and an alligator crossbred? And Natalie's like, nah, man. You can't crossbreed species. What the hell are you talking about? Then we cut back to the interview, the original interview with Benedict Wong. And she's like, yeah, the mutations, the deeper into the shimmer we got, the more we saw. Is it possible they were hallucinations? You know, I wondered that myself, but, you know, we all saw them, man. I mean, the fuck. And now we see that they are pressing on their journey, and they're in a boat. And, like, we can look down into the water and see weird, cool mutant fish,
Wow.
you know, hanging around. And they're all, like, bright colors and glowing and shit. Natalie, she's rowing, and then she's like, ow! And she looks down at her arm. She's got this big bruise on her forearm. And Cassie's like, oh, what's going on there? I don't know. I guess I got it from the gator. Cassie's like, yeah, okay. And there's a little weird moment. You're like, what's going on there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then her and Cassie kind of bond a little bit. Like, so, you wouldn't volunteer for a mission like this unless your life was completely broken and you had nothing to lose. So, was it a child or a husband for you? And Natalie's like, you know, a husband. But, you know, I was in the army too, and that's where I learned how to shoot. Yeah, well, for me, it was my daughter. She died of leukemia. And it was really, you know, two deaths. One was her, and then the other was who I was.
Oh.
You know, look at them all. You know, they're all damaged goods now. Natalie's like, what do you mean? Well, so-and-so, you know, she was an addict. Josie was a cutter. Well, what about Dr. Ventress? Well, she's got no family. She's got no one. So, she's pretty much always had nothing to lose. Anya yells out, hey, we got something. We found something up here. And now we see that they have found Fort Amaya, which is this overgrown, dilapidated, abandoned army base. And they walk in through the main gate. Dr. Ventress is like, yeah, this used to be the headquarters for Southern Reach. Oh, Southern Reach. That's the name of the government agency.
All right.
Like the lab that they were at. The books of this are called the Southern Reach Trilogy.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this used to be the Southern Reach headquarters before the Shimmer overtook it. And then they had to move away and build the new lab. And it's covered in all these weird, bright colors, like dry algae is growing all over the place, but it's like super bright colors.
Wow.
Natalie's looking at it. She's like, wow, it's like they're tumors, you know, like malignant. Hey, is that the old mess hall over there? Yeah. Okay, let's check it out. They go in and somebody's like, we got beds and bags here. You think somebody's here? I think people were here. You know, past tense. Now they're all carrying packs and assault rifles. Like, none of them are soldiers except Natalie Portman, but you can tell they were all sort of trained for this. Because they act a little bit, I say that loosely, like a military unit. They're looking around, going through all the old backpacks for anything they can use, when Natalie finds a list on the wall of the last mission's, like, watch list. Like, who has to patrol the perimeter at what time, and she sees her husband's name on it.
Oh.
Poe Dameron. But she doesn't say anything. You know, if they were guarding the perimeter, maybe we should too. Yeah, okay, we'll set that up. And then Ventress finds this little clear baggie on the table. Fucking full of coke. Oh my God. She's like, hey, you guys want to party? Me too. Also in the bag is a memory card and a note that says, for those that follow.
Oh.
Josie puts it in her camera, and they are able to watch the video. So it's like a little Blair Witch found footage moment, okay?
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucking cool, all right? We see Poe Dameron, and he's like looking into the camera like, yeah, can you see me? Can you see me? Okay. And he's bare-chested, and so are the two guys that are with him. Like,
Ooh.
Yeah. Homoerotic. They're pretty sweaty. And they're in a swimming pool that is like almost completely drained, all right?
What happens in the shimmer stays in the shimmer.
That's right. You ever heard of shimmer gay? It's like prison gay, but in the shimmer. When you leave the shimmer, you go back to normal. It's fine.
It's not gay if it happened in the shimmer.
So they're in this video in this swimming pool, and man, they are getting to it. So Poe and his military buddies, they got one of their guys like sitting down, you know, taking it easy, and they're like, you okay, man? You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. Let's do this. Yeah. All right. You sure you're okay? All right. Yeah. And then Poe holds up a fucking knife, and then starts carving into this guy's stomach and carves almost his whole stomach out like a flap.
Holy crap.
Okay? And the guy just fucking sits there and fucking takes it like a soldier.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it looks like it fucking hurts, dude. And then Poe peels the skin back. He looks into the camera and then he gets out of the way. And we see that the guy's intestines are writhing around like a fucking snake inside of his body.
Your intestines kind of do that anyway.
Really?
In a mild way. It's what moves your poop.
They contract.
Well, this was not contracting. It was flowing through his stomach like a snake.
Gotcha.
Nurse Candy's like, no big deal. Poe fucking shows that shit and then looks into the camera and smiles like, yeah,
Oh my god, did you guys see that shit?
and then he goes and sets his knife down in the water of the swimming pool and like washes all the blood off of his hands. So then Anya stops watching the video and she's like, okay, holy shit. All right. Well, I guess we know what happened to the last mission. They all went fucking crazy. And then the rest of the girls are like, wait, what? You saw something? There was something moving inside of him. Like something was alive inside that guy. I don't know what that was. A trick of the light. No way. Nothing was living inside of him. That was a trick of the light. They went fucking crazy and they killed each other. He was carving him up. Didn't you see that shit? And everybody's like, okay, so you have decided on denial. And then Dr. Ventress, she doesn't say anything. She just turns and walks off into the building. She's going to find that swimming pool.
Oh.
And so she does. So they all follow her in there and they find in the pool, sitting on the same step that he was sitting on in the video, is the guy that they carved open. Only just his legs are there. And then up growing from his legs is all of this flowery fucking dry algae shit. And then up above that, maybe 6 or 7 feet up, is his torso. And then more of the flowering shit. And up at the top is his skull.
Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's fucking cool looking, man. Like a big, sick, fucking twisted, most awesome wall relief sculpture you've ever seen in your life. I gotta get me one of those. Josie bends down and finds the knife in the water. Still there. She's like, I don't want to stay here. I don't want to stay here any longer. Dr. Ventress says, well, it's too late in the day. We gotta stay here now. We don't have a choice. So it cuts to that night. And we see another memory of Natalie's. And she's sleeping in her bed, and Poe comes and wakes her up, and he's like, yeah, sorry, babe, I gotta leave a day early. She's like, what the fuck, man? We had the whole day planned. We were gonna hang. I was gonna make soup. She's like, well, how early? And he's like, and she goes, now? Yeah, sorry, babe. Well, can we at least, I don't know. Now means right now, huh? Yeah. And he fucking looks at her like it is the last time he's ever gonna see her. And you can see it in his eyes. He's like, I do love you, Natalie. I love you too. And then he just leaves. And she wakes up in the mess hall with the rest of her friends.
Oh.
She can't sleep, so she starts, she grabs some of that flowery algae shit and she's looking at it under her microscope. And all the cell activity is like still active. Shit's like still dividing. Like she watches one cell divide and half of it looks normal and the other half is all like glowing white and fucking mutant-y. Fucking cool.
Wow.
Cellular mitosis. Cassie wakes up, sees what she's doing, and she's like, psst, hey.
I can put my whole fist in my mouth. Want to see?
Natalie's like, no. And she's like, well, everybody else is like totally freaking out. I can't believe you are so cool under all this pressure, Natalie's like, yeah, thanks. I'm going to go check on Dr. Ventress because she's got guard duty. Now we see outside, and it turns out they're not in the mess hall. They are up in some big, tall shack that's like 50 feet in the air. So she has to go down all these stairs to go find Ventress, who's sitting at a table by herself, like doing research. She's looking at the map. She's like, okay, hey, here's us. Here's where we are. Here's the lighthouse. And then over here is this other town called Purdue that we actually had to evacuate because of the shimmer. I say we go there first and check it out, and then head on to the lighthouse. Natalie's like, yeah, that's cool. All right. And then Ventress is like, when you first decided not to tell the team that you knew Poe, I was wondering if that was a good idea or not, but after seeing what he did on that fucking video, I'm pretty glad you didn't tell him. Natalie's like, yeah, so now can you tell me why my husband volunteered for a fucking suicide mission? You know, you profiled him. You're the one who chose him for the team when he volunteered. So fucking can you tell me why he wanted to go on a suicide mission? I think you're confusing suicide with self-destruction. The fuck do you mean self-destruction? Well, we all self-destruct, you know, drinking, smoking, drugs, sometimes staying in an unhappy marriage. And then Natalie's like, huh? Damn. And then off in the distance we hear, rawr. And Natalie's like, what the fuck? She picks up her night vision binoculars and she's scanning the fence, the perimeter fence, and she sees a giant fucking hole ripped in it. Oh. What was it? I don't know, but something fucking ripped a hole in the fence like a big fucking zipper. And then Cassie shows up and she's like, hey, you guys, what's going on? And a fucking mutant bear just fucking bites into her neck and drags her off into the fucking forest.
Oh, my God.
Holy cow.
Oh my God, you got a hold of that one.
I'm like, oh, Cassie. And we just cut to them going through her backpack, dividing up her stuff.
Oh.
Anya's like, you know what? I think we need to go back. No. What the fuck? You want to go back? Yeah, you know, just too much fucked up shit is happening. Yeah, did you remember the part where no one ever makes it out alive? Except for the one guy? Like, what the fuck? You know what? You guys decide if you're going to keep going. You can go back. If you want to try, you can. All right? But I'm going to the lighthouse, and I'll be fine on my own. You're going to have to decide for yourselves. And then Ventress just leaves. She goes on ahead of them.
Whoa.
And then Anya looks at Natalie. She's like, yeah, thanks for the backup, you fucking asshole. Natalie's like, I didn't know we were choosing sides here. Don't you think we should go back? Okay, yeah, we can go back. But here's the thing. We are 6 days into the shimmer. Okay? And we are 2 days from the lighthouse. I say we go to the lighthouse and then follow the coast out. You know, I think we'll get out faster that way. So you think getting out faster is done by going in deeper? You know what I mean? Cutting to the Wong interview. Oh. So you lied to them? Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't fucking know. Jesus. But you decided anyway. Ventress decided. Ventress had cancer. She was never coming back. Yeah, I had a feeling that she was sick. But you wanted to continue anyway. Yes, I did. And now we're back in the jungle. So they're walking through the jungle and they find a piece of Cassie right there in the forest.
Oh.
It's like her foot or something. I gotta be honest, I wasn't really paying attention at that moment. You know, you look around at the theater around it, you know. Happened to be right then, I think. And they're like, she could still be alive. Ventress is like, yeah, okay, Natalie, you go ahead and go look for her. So Natalie's like gearing up to go into soldier mode. Anya's like, I'll go with you. I'll go alone. And Anya is like, fine. Like, she is obviously slighted. Remember, she's gay for Natalie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So now Natalie goes into the woods by herself, and she is full-on hunting like Muldoon in Jurassic Park.
Oh.
Clever girl. She comes across two weird-looking antelope motherfuckers, and they're just like real skinny, super white, and their antlers are made out of fucking branches with purple flowers on them. It's fucking cool looking,
so
man.
Cool.
Wow.
And they're like, just like drinking out of a stream by themselves. Like, she found a couple of fucking unicorns.
Yeah. That's like some Hayao Miyazaki shit going on.
And they see her and they just lope away gracefully. So then she drops her backpack and she goes in deeper with just her assault rifle. And then she finds Cass's body. He's fucking dead, laying there with his throat ripped out.
Oh my God.
And she reaches down and she like holds onto her arm for a second and then, you know, leaves her there. Back at the others, they're like, did you find her? Yeah, she's dead. And they just keep on walking, baby. Natalie looks at Anya, who is still all pissy, and she's like, hey, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Just leave me the fuck alone. And it's like, oh,
I can't help it if I've got a heavy flow and a wide-set vagina.
They finally wander into that little town, Purdue, and they're on like a playground or something, and they find a whole bunch of human figures out there in the field, but they're all made out of flowers. Like branches, trees, and flowers, but they're just grown into the shape of fucking humans. And they got like these huge flower dicks. Big sideways boners. Natalie's inspecting these boners, and she's like, they grew this way to the side. Josie comes out, and she's like, yeah, it makes sense. Well, what do you mean? Okay, so the shimmer. Remember we were having all that trouble with the compasses, the magnetic disturbances and stuff, and we know light waves don't fucking work through here, and radio waves, we still get them, okay? Like, we can still hear shit on the radio, but it's all scrambled. We can't understand what any of it is. It's all still there, but it's scrambled. And what I think the shimmer is doing is it's acting like a prism. So it's refracting all of those things. That's why they're all jumbled up and scrambled. And I think that in addition to refracting those, it is refracting plant DNA, animal DNA, and all DNA. And Anya's like, what do you mean, all DNA? Dr. Ventress, who is there with him again, she's like, she means us. She's talking about us. And Josie's like, yeah, see that leaf you're holding from that person tree? If you were to take that and sequence it, like in Jurassic Park, you would find...
Bingo. Dino DNA.
Ooh. Yeah, so Josie figured it all out.
Nice.
So those people trees, like they were people.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That the shimmer has rearranged. So they walk into a house there in town, and Ventress is like, yeah, okay, go ahead and secure it, I guess. Natalie looks at Anya, who looks like she's maybe about to start losing it.
Yeah.
She must be on her period. Did you bring any tampons? Nobody brought any!
I hear their periods attract bears.
Great. You hear that, Chris? Bears. Natalie sees that she's like, maybe losing it. And Anya's just sitting there like rubbing her fingers together and fucking staring at him. And it's like, what the fuck? So now it's nighttime again. And Natalie decides to take a little bit of her own blood and look at it in the microscope. And the same shit happens. Fucking cells start dividing. And one of the cells is all like glowing and pearly and shit. And she's like, all right. I'm fucked. Then she just gets visions of like Poe sitting there at the table by himself with the glass of water. And then more sex with that guy, Daniel.
Fucking bitch.
What's she thinking about that for?
Well,
there's stuff going on.
Because when they get done with that, she gets off of Daniel and she says, this was a mistake.
Oh.
And Daniel's like, what? Come on now. Well, now... what you mean by that? Yeah, I want to keep doing this. She's like, man, this is bullshit. No. And he's like, come on, you don't love him. He's always gone. And you got a job you can't talk to him about. He can't ever talk to you about his missions. That shit ain't never going to work. She's like, you forgot to mention your wife. Hey, I love my wife. She's blameless in this.
I sucked your toes in everything.
Yeah.
Brought my A game.
I don't be tickling or nothing. I clean your undercarriage, and this is what I get. Undercarriage. He's like, what's going on here? What's really going on here? Like, you think he knows? You think he knows? You think he's found out? He's like, what's really going on here? You think he knows? You think he's found out? has he? And she's like, yes.
Oh.
You should go now. No, just now hang on a second. Listen, I don't want to fucking talk to you anymore about this. Get your fucking clothes on and get out of my house. You know what? You don't really hate me. It's yourself that you hate. She's like, no, it's you too. And then it just cuts to them in the camp.
Wow.
Oof. Natalie is waking up from this dream, and Anya is standing over her with her assault rifle fucking pointed at her.
Whoa.
She's like, bitch, you've been fucking holding out on me long enough. And then she just knocks her out with the butt of her rifle.
Ooh.
Whoa. What?
Jesus.
Natalie wakes up, gagged around the mouth, tied to a fucking chair. She looks on either side of her. There's Josie and Dr. Ventress. Same thing.
Ooh.
And Anya is just like pacing back and forth. Like she's in charge now. She's got her own like mad scientist shit going on.
Yeah.
And she's holding Natalie Portman's locket. And she's like, so, who's in here? Is it a brother, a husband? You know, you never really told us who you lost. And she opens it up and it's Poe, who she recognizes from the stomach cutting video.
Oh, no.
And she's like, you've been holding out on me, motherfucker. You fucking lied to us.
I feel I was denied critical, need to know information.
She's like, so there's two theories here. One is that the last crew fucking went crazy and they killed themselves. The other is that something out here killed them. And Josie, she was attacked by a fucking alligator, and Cassie was killed by a motherfucking bear. You know she was on her period. But guess what? Neither me nor Josie saw that attack happen. So let me ask you, bitch, to Natalie. She's like, did a bear really kill her? Or did you fucking kill her? Did you fucking lose it? And fucking start killing? We know Natalie's a fucking liar. And it's like, we might be in some trouble here. She's like, did you lose your shit? Or have I lost my shit and that's what's happening now? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, if you tie me to a chair right now and you cut my stomach open, are my insides going to be moving around like a fucking snake? And Natalie Portman just nods her head, yes. Wow. And she's like, yeah. And she pulls out the knife. Only I'm not the one tied to a chair, am I?
Oh, no.
And she starts walking towards Natalie. And Natalie is like, roar, roar. And the others, they're panicking too. When all of a sudden from outside, we hear Cassie scream out, help! Help me!
Wow.
And everybody fucking stops like, what the fuck? And then Anya just yells, oh my God, it's Cassie! She looks down at Natalie Portman. She's like, you said she was dead, you fucking lying bitch! Cassie, I'm coming! And she runs outside. We stay with the three that are tied on the chairs, and we just hear,
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And then the bear comes walking in real slow, just lumbering. And his face is all fucking weird looking. It looks like some kind of giant goddamn monster from hell, okay? And it comes creeping in, and it's just like, help me! Like, it can fucking mimic Cassie's dying screams.
Damn.
But it does it as like bait. It's fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fucking cool.
So like when it killed Cassie, it like took some of her DNA. It was like refracted into it, blended together. And it's just fucking beautiful the way the sound is seamlessly coming out of this bear's throat.
Really?
Yeah.
Like it's like it's fucking cool, man. And so it's like kind of nudging around the room. Like maybe it actually can't see them. All right. And it's getting into their faces like it can smell them. And it's using the screams and it's screaming, help me, to try to get them to react.
Yeah. That's fucking weird.
Oh man, it's weird. And then it just gets up into Josie's face, and it's using Cassie's screams. And it's all like breathing its hot breath into Josie's faces. And she's like crying and shit. And Natalie actually says out loud, but like real calm, she's like, don't react. Don't react. And it's like, help me! Oh my God, help me! And then behind them, staggering into the room with her fucking assault rifle, is Anya. And she's bleeding and shit. Like, she got fucked up by the bear, but she's fucking still alive. And she just starts shooting that motherfucker. And then it fucking goes for her and fucking tackles her, and it's mauling the shit out of her, man. And then all of a sudden, the very last blow that it gives her, it fucking swipes her jaw right away. And we completely see that shit. And it's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And she's just like with her tongue and blood like squirting out just a little bit. You know? And then it turns around and starts going for the others. And in the chaos, you know, Josie, I guess her chair broke or something like that. She was able to get up, and then she fucking kills it with her assault rifle. Shoots it dead.
Oh, wow.
So later, they're looking at Anya's fucking dead body, and Ventress has decided, you know, she's like, you know what? I'm just going to go on my own, you know? And Natalie's like, man, what the fuck? We were just getting to know each other. Nah, we're fucking disintegrating. Everybody's fucking dying. I'm better off on my own. I'm going to leave now.
But there's bears. What the fuck?
I don't want to fucking die before this journey ends. You know, I'm one of the ones who started this whole fucking thing, and I want to be the one who ends it. So I'm going to go. And outside, Natalie is talking with Josie. Like, they're all that's left now. Josie's like, how long was your husband in the Shimmer? He was in here, I don't know, anywhere up to a year. That's a pretty fucking long time to be here and stay intact. And then Natalie's like, oh, I didn't say he was intact. I'm right, aren't I? I was right about the refraction. Like, we're getting fucked up too now. And Natalie's like, yeah, I actually looked at a sample of my blood last night, and whatever's here is inside me too. Yeah, it's inside all of us. It was so fucking weird hearing Cassie's voice coming out of that creature. I mean, what the fuck? Imagine dying completely alone and afraid, and the very last moments of your fear and your panic, they're what gets preserved.
Wow.
For the rest of eternity, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, her dying DNA memory got absorbed into that animal. Natalie's like, yeah. Josie looks down at her arm, and she's like feeling on it, and we can see that there are fucking leaves growing out of her arm.
Oh.
Ooh.
And she looks up at Natalie, and she's like, you know, Ventress, she wants to face this thing, whatever's here. You, Natalie, you want to fight it. And I don't think I want either of those things. And then she just walks away from Natalie. She walks off into the town. She's like around a corner through some bushes and shit. And Natalie's like, wait, no, fucking Josie, come back. And she follows her. She goes around the corner. Josie is gone. And there's a whole bunch of those flower figures like standing in the field. And we are not sure what happened to Josie. Like, she could be one of them. Like, it happened that fast. I don't fucking know.
Wow.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we cut back to Benedict Wong interviewing Natalie. Oh, sorry. Okay, so one by one, you are all gone. Yeah, I wanted to know what the fuck was out there. And then the screen just goes black, and then it just says, The Lighthouse. So she's walking. She's by herself now. And she's thinking about her husband. She's fucking crying. And then all of a sudden, we see that she is standing on the beach.
Whoa, she made it.
Yep, she made it. And the beach is fucking beautiful, man. Wow. And, you know, it doesn't look weird. She's just on sand. There's the ocean. It's cool. She just drops her pack and starts walking to the right. And the camera follows her, and we see in front of her is the lighthouse. But in front of the lighthouse is all of these huge fucking trees that are all made out of fucking crystal.
Wow.
And they're all like sharp and spiny and shit. It's fucking cool looking, man. And the lighthouse is turned on. And obviously, that's been the light that they've been following this whole time. But it's like super bright and pearly, of course. Mm-hmm. And she just holds her gun up and walks towards that motherfucker. In front of it is like all of these human bones, like laid out all ornately.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like somebody took the time to do that shit. Inside, it's just an empty room with a spiral staircase going up. And it's all covered in like white algae flower bullshit. Okay, but on the ground floor, because we don't go upstairs. On the ground floor, we see the staircase. And then up next to the wall is a human skeleton that has been charred black, and all around it on the wall is like black soot marks, like a flash fire just happened, almost like the human shadows preserved at like Mount Vesuvius and shit.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the room is this giant black fucking hole in the ground where the asteroid hit.
Oh.
And it's got all this weird white shit growing around it. It looks like a big diseased butthole. And then one more thing in the room. In the middle of the floor is a tripod with a video camera on it, and it's pointed at the burnt skeleton.
Oh. Whoa.
And she's like, well, okay, I'm pretty invested now. Things can't get any weirder. I'll watch the video. So she turns it on. And we just see in the video, like, it's the beach, and the camera's panning around, and it points down at the human bones in front of the lighthouse. And now we see that it has been placed on the tripod in the lighthouse. And then in front of it walks Poe Dameron. Now, speaking of these Poe Dameron videos she keeps finding, you know that other one where he was cutting the guy's stomach open and shit?
Yeah.
Like, that was some, like, fucking horrific shit. Like, we could tell that they were all fucking losing their minds and shit. And watching this movie, I was like, you know, I wish we got to see that movie.
Aww.
Hashtag me too.
Damn.
So then Poe sits down on the floor up against the wall. And right then you're like, oh shit, man. He's a skeleton? I thought he was back at home sick.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And he looks at the camera and he's like, I thought I was a man.
Damn.
I had a life. People called me Poe. But now I'm not so sure. If I wasn't Poe, what was I? You know, was I you? Were you me? My flesh moves like liquid. My mind is cut loose, and I can't bear it. I can't bear it anymore.
Jesus.
Have you ever seen a phosphorus grenade go off? And then he fucking pulls one out. It's bright. Make sure and shield your eyes. And he puts his hand on the pin and he says, if you ever get out, find Natalie. I will. And then he pulls the pin.
Whoa.
And he's like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It fucking goes off. And it's so fucking bright, it like blinds out the fucking video. All right.
Yeah.
And he fucking burns to a fucking cinder like immediately. And then out from behind the camera walks the other Poe.
Oh, what?
And he turns and he looks at the camera like, And it's like, oh, fuck. He had a fucking doppelganger, and that's the one that came out.
Oh,
damn.
Cellular mitosis.
Ooh.
The dividing pair. Remember that from her class?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Natalie's watching the video, and she's like, huh. All right. And then she hears fucking talking coming out of the hole in the ground. The big asshole. She's like, all right, better go check it out. She goes into this hole with her gun, and the walls are all like moving around, and they're fucking shiny black and shit. And then she looks like Ripley going through the alien hive. It's fucking cool looking.
wow.
Yeah.
The hole leads down into this room, like deep underground. This cavity, if you will. And sitting in the center of it, she finds Dr. Ventress, who is sitting there talking to herself. Oh my God, I don't care. I don't care about anything. Jennifer Jason Leigh. And we don't see her face all that well, but what we can see she has no more eyes. Like, it's just like skin. Ugh, and her face is like moving around and shit. Dr. Ventress, you okay over there? No, it doesn't matter though. Who cares? And then Dr. Ventress is like,
Did you miss me?
With every bullet so far.
You know, Natalie, when we spoke before, I told you I needed to know what was in the lighthouse. Yeah? Well, now I know. Because it's inside me now. And she turns to look at Natalie, and now she has eyes again. It's fucking weird, man. Mm-hmm. Like, something's happening. We don't quite know. We haven't seen the full effect yet. she's in a state of flux. Yeah, it's inside me now. And like, it's gonna grow and grow until our bodies and our minds, they're all fragmented into the smallest parts until no parts remain. And all it's gonna be is annihilation. Oh, they said the title of the movie in the movie. Damn. And then she just throws her head back and fucking vomits light up into the air. And it's just like keeps flowing out of her mouth. And we can see her body starts glowing and shit. And it's like getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And it's like that's what she's vomiting up. Like her own body is becoming all of this light and energy and shit. It's fucking swirling around the room.
Wow.
And Natalie's just like, yep. Fucking end of the world. What did I expect? And it's fucking washing around the room and fucking flowing around Natalie. And then it all kind of comes together into this weird big eyeball of light. Okay. And it's like constantly moving and it's all geometric, like a fucking tesseract or some bullshit. And she's like staring into it. And it's like, yeah, keep looking at me. Keep looking at me. And then it like pulls a drop of blood out of Natalie's eyeball. And the blood flies into this thing and it starts dividing. And we can see at its cellular level and it just keeps dividing and dividing and dividing. And it's getting more and more and more and big. And then we pan back and it is making a human figure.
Oh.
And this person that it makes, it's just like kind of formless, you know? It's in a person shape, but it has no features. And it's just all pearly and shiny, okay? So it's like a blank person.
Yeah.
Natalie fucking freaks out, lifts her gun up, and starts fucking shooting at it. It does nothing. The bullets just bounce off. And then it fucking turns to her. And she's like, oh shit! She fucking runs out of the hole, back out into the lighthouse. It is already out there waiting for her.
Wow.
And it's just fucking standing there. So then Natalie walks into the room and it turns around and starts mirroring all of her movements. Every step she takes towards it, it takes one towards her. If she moves away, it moves away. She tries to walk around it and get out of the door, but it walks to the side as well, so she can't, you know? And finally, she's had enough of this shit. And she picks up that camera tripod and just fucking hits that motherfucker. And then it turns around and fucking punches her in the face and knocks her out.
Oh, no.
Now she starts waking up and like, she's laying on the floor. And then she looks over to the left and there it is laying on the floor doing exactly what she is doing. Like it's waking up from getting knocked out too. But she is quick enough to get up before it gets up and run to the door. So it fucking chases her to the door. Once she gets to the door, it slams it in front of her and then presses itself up against her back. And it's like pushing on her really fucking hard. And she's like, and like her head kind of starts bleeding, like almost like she's being crushed with a lot of force. Whoa. Okay. She's obviously having trouble breathing and, she starts to pass out. So her body kind of goes limp and she staggers backwards. And then this thing is staggering backwards with her. Like it's doing everything she's doing. She turns. They both turn. They both stumble and they fall and they roll on the floor. And then they're like, oh God, okay, now I can breathe. And they both start getting up. Remember, perfectly mirrored movements. Mm-hmm. They get up and we see Natalie's head. Yeah, man, it's bleeding. Like her head was fucking crushed. And then they stand up and Natalie's like, man, what the fuck? Like, how the fuck do I get away from this thing? And she just like starts walking to the side really slow. It is like up in her face, but it's walking to the side slow with her. And she bends down and she finds Poe's backpack. She reaches into it and pulls out a phosphorus grenade. And she stands up and holds it out to the figure whose hand is outstretched just like hers. And she puts the phosphorus grenade into the figure's hand. And then with her other hand, she grabs the pin, pulls it out, but she doesn't let the spoon go yet. And then she closes the figure's hands around the grenade. And then she backs away from it. And it's still fucking standing there, and the grenade fucking goes off. And it's huge white fucking fire all over the place. And this thing fucking starts burning. Natalie runs to the door, turns around and looks at it, and now it is her. Oh. Just standing there looking at her and burning. And it's not freaking out or anything like that. It's just covered in fire, looking into her eyes. And it watches her open the door and run out of the lighthouse. But we stay inside the lighthouse. And the fire keeps burning, but now it's only this figure's arms that are burning. And it's no longer Natalie now. It's back to its featureless form. And it's walking around the room like wondering, what am I going to do now? My arms are on fire. And it walks up to Poe's skeleton and it like touches him on the head, like almost lovingly. And then the skeleton starts to burn and it touches the walls and they start to burn. And now we're with Natalie outside and she's just watching the lighthouse go up in flames.
Wow.
All of those crystal trees we saw, they start fucking heating up, and then they start melting and fucking crumbling into fucking embers and ash and shit. And now we see the burning figure. Now the whole body is on fire, but it's just walking around real slow. Like it doesn't quite hurt it, you know? And it walks down into its hole, and it goes down into the middle of that room, and it just kind of lays down in the middle of the floor to just fucking burn. And that room just fades to white because everything got so hot. Like all the walls were fucking burning with this phosphorus fire, okay? And the whole thing just disintegrates. So now we're back with Benedict Wong. So. It was alien. And Natalie just nods her head, yes. Can you describe its form? Actually, no. It had no form. Like I must have told you already. It had no features. But was it carbon-based? I don't know. Well, what the fuck did it want? I actually don't know that it wanted anything. It had to have come here for a reason. Maybe it just showed up. I don't know how it got here. But it attacked you. It mirrored me. Remember, I attacked it. When it showed up here, it destroyed everything around it. No, it didn't. It changed everything around it. A few hours ago, a team of mine reached the lighthouse. It is all ashes. And she's like, wow, so the shimmer, yeah, it's gone. It's destroyed.
Oh, wow.
Huh. So, what about my husband? Well, when the shimmer disappeared, he woke up, and his heart rate rose, and he's going to make it. And he's actually still in isolation at the moment. And she's like, yeah, well, so am I. So then it just cuts to Natalie walking into her husband's hospital room. And he's like, sitting up. He's going to be okay. And she just walks in and she's fucking looking at him and he looks up at her and she goes, you aren't Poe, are you? I don't think so. Are you Natalie? And then Natalie just goes, huh? And does not answer the question.
Oh.
And then Poe stands up and walks over to her real slow. He just puts his arms around her and he fucking holds her. And she hugs him back. And now we see Poe's eyes while he's hugging her. Like we see the back of her head and then his face. And his eyes start to shimmer. Like the irises are like glowing purple and shit.
Yeah.
And then we see her face. And her eyes are normal and she's hugging him. And then they go purple and start to shimmer.
Oh.
And then across the screen, it just says, Annihilation. And the credits roll, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a fucking great movie,
That's
right?
awesome.
Yeah.
Man. So at one point, her doppelganger got the upper hand?
Or did she just change?
You guys are like, I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know when it happened. Maybe it was the one walking around and like lovingly touching Poe's skull.
Oh.
Maybe that was the real her.
Yeah, at one point in the final battle. Like the final battle is her with herself.
Right.
The doppelganger. At one point, the perspective switched.
Right.
And purposefully, we didn't know it.
And I figure that would have happened when it was pressing her up against the door and crushing her.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that was when that happened.
Yeah. And so it was the imposter put the phosphorus grenade in the real Natalie's hands.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Wow.
Damn.
I know, right?
Annihilation.
Yep, there you have it. Annihilation on Movies with Ron.
All right. Good job, Ron.
Yeah, good
Thank
job.
That was
you.
riveting.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Julian?
I thought it was awesome. I loved it.
Good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Candy, you were asking if the entire Southern Reach trilogy was about the Shimmer, and it is.
Really?
like the first book, it's been a long time, but I think it ended with the Natalie Portman that made it out of the Shimmer was obviously a doppelganger. Like people, like they knew that.
Oh, okay.
And then her and the Benedict Wong character go on the run. And they end up going back into the Shimmer. And that starts like the second book and shit like that.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's like a female The Thing.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's The Thing. That's all I got from this movie.
And The Thing is so awesome. Even if it was a blatant copy, it's like, fine.
Yeah. And it's like her doppelganger hugging Poe's doppelganger.
Is like The Thing got what it wanted.
No, it's kind of like we're asking questions. Like we don't know entirely what happened. Mm-hmm. It's like when Kurt Russell is sitting next to Keith David.
Yep.
And we don't know who's the thing or not. It's like, I don't know, man.
So you really don't know who was the thing at the end?
Wasn't it? What's his name? Keith David, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it him?
I think it was him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him.
A lot of people think it was him because you can't see his breath when he's talking.
Yeah.
I thought that, like at the end, they were drinking out of a bottle.
Good
and
point.
what was in the bottle was not... I don't think it was just alcohol. I think it was like gasoline or something.
Yeah.
Because McCready had been making Molotov cocktails. And he didn't actually swig out of the bottle, I don't think. He just hands it to Keith.
Oh.
And he drinks
who then
it like
takes
it's
a big old
nothing.
drink. Yeah.
Like they can't...
Like he was testing him.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's the school of thought.
The Thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you can get anything from this episode of Movies with Ron, see John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes.
But I think it's an evolution of body horror in a way. Like this is
I love body horror.
Annihilation is like a postmodern interpretation of it. I don't know, but I love Benedict Wong.
Me too, man.
This is a movie full of women, and I love Benedict Wong.
I was driving over here and I was like, Benedict Wong. B.D. Wong. I wonder if they're both named Benedict Wong. And then Henry Wu was like, from Jurassic Park. That's B.D. Wong.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's like, I better change it to B.D.
It stands for Big Dick Wong.
There we go. Julian indoctrinated into the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, I was walking out of the theater. And I always park in a certain spot, which means if my movie is on the opposite end of the building, I walk through the entire building and go out the door. So I get to pass all the posters and the cardboard displays and stuff. And I'm noticing something more and more in my theater. Bollywood movies they are becoming much more prominent here. All right. So I looked this up. You guys know anything really about Bollywood movies?
Your Honor, allow me to fumigate my wisdom on the defendant.
So they're becoming more prominent because, the Indian population is huge and rising in our country, the U.S. And American cinemas are starting to realize that this is a huge, bright spot money-wise. And there is actually a chain of theaters opening up in the U.S. that shows nothing but Indian Bollywood movies.
What? Wow.
And in these theaters, you can buy, like, mango juice and, like, their traditional foods and stuff.
Damn.
Yeah. Because the Indian population in the U.S. has no way to see their movies other than, like, bootleg DVDs and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at these posters, and some of these posters, like, look stupid.
Yeah.
But some of them look like they put some money into this shit. Like,
fuck yeah.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, what if I were to do a Bollywood movie on the show? And I think I just might one of these days.
You need to go to one of those theaters.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear the whole experience, Ron.
If there's one in town, I'll find it.
All right.
But yeah, there's this, and that chain is funded by this Mumbai-based organization that is producing all of these Bollywood movies. Like, they're actually producing more movies every year than the U.S. We just don't know about it because we don't see them.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're not all that great, obviously, but there are more of them. that same Mumbai-based conglomerate, is what funds Steven Spielberg's DreamWorks.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Isn't that fucking weird?
Man, fucking commerce.
I know.
Movies
on
with
an off
Ron.
note,
Like Steven Spielberg is like, I'm just going to sell to India.
Owes himself to India.
Yeah.
so I just figured something out. I asked Chris months ago, like, why are there all these Indian movies on Netflix? Why is this happening? Like, if you scroll down the new releases, the bottom 1/3 is nothing but Indian movies. I'm like, why is this happening? He said, I don't know. That's why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Netflix is catching on
that
too.
same company is paying Netflix.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. Okay, don't.
No, I mean, it's a conglomerate. I can't think it's too much of a good thing.
I just think it's good for their culture. Like, they're not being suppressed as much.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy for them.
Yeah, they got a thriving industry.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Jesus, Candy.
Hey, Julian.
Yeah.
Are you on that Apple Podcasts?
No.
All right, never mind. If you folks out there are on Apple Podcasts, using iTunes, whatever, leave us a rating and review. We'd love to hear from you. And hey, add us to your favorites. Hit subscribe. We're on all your favorite podcast apps. We're also on movieswithron.com. We got Twitter @movieswithron. There's a Facebook page. Check us out. It's been fun.
Yep, we love you.
See you guys.
Take care.
Movies with Ron.
You know, if you look up girly movies online, there's this big list. You know what else is on it? All the Twilight movies, all the Hunger Games movies, The Breakfast Club,
What?
Grease and Grease 2, Pretty Woman, every Adam Sandler movie ever, We're the Millers, Horrible Bosses 1 and 2, and every Harry Potter movie.
You ever seen Jennifer Aniston in Horrible Bosses?
Yeah.
If I was a guy,
Fucking
that's what I would jerk off to. I'm just saying. Like, she's amazing.
Her in that movie?
Yeah, the whole act.
She's filthy in that movie.
I know.
But she's like man filthy. Like she was written by a man.
So guys don't like that?
Oh, guys like that.